After making a video about whether it's a good idea to build in Ghana or Africa or to buy in the West, I had a comment in the comment section asking what are some of the land titles that we have. To be honest, I've been buying a lot of land in Ghana and I didn't even know. All I knew was 99 years and the land was mine forever. Until I was speaking to a friend of mine called Jake, and he seems to have a lot of knowledge on this field. And I thought, if I am having value from this video, then I'm going to record it and I'm sure some of you will have value. So this video is about some of the land interests and some of the land titles we have in Ghana. Hello, Jake. How are you doing?
Hey, Mickey, fantastic. Couldn't be better. Thanks a lot for having me on.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Can you introduce yourself and what you do to my audience?
Absolutely. Yeah, the name is Jake Finde, simple guy, a Ghanaian in the diaspora. I'm the founder and CEO of Fanada Group, a Ghanaian-based company that focuses on real estate and services.
Cool. So basically, right, let's go straight into the conversation.
Sure.
I've been buying land, and I was under the impression that when it says 99 years, it's just a facade, the land belonged to me. Until recently, I realized that people are giving titles for 50 years and 70 years. What are the different types of land titles and interests we have in Ghana?
Yeah, this question make you asking me as if like I'm a 10. Okay. Well, first of all, listeners, I'm very glad to share my experience with you guys here. But first of all, I want to say just a disclaimer. You should know that I'm not an attorney. So if you plan buying land, I would definitely advise you to consult a real estate attorney to walk you through all the process. I'm just going to share my experience with you guys, what I've seen and what's going on in the market. Okay. Yeah. So I would like to start. There are actually three most common titles in Ghana. I will start with the one that's common, okay, that's practice. I mean, that everyone is going for right now. Right. So, and that is leasehold. So the leasehold is kind of a title that's owned by family members, traditional leaders, okay? And you kind of, when you buy the land from this, title holders, you are given a number of years, okay? So basically, if a Ghanaian, it's about 99 years, okay? But there's been a new land law right now. They call it new land law, something like that, recently. So things changes every here and there. So because of that, there's been greed in the system, okay? And instead of 99 years, you see people giving 50 years, 70 years instead of 99 years. Okay, but according to the Ghanaian law, if I'm going for what leasehold should be given 99 years. But if you are a foreigner and you are buying land in Ghana, you should be given 50 years, no more than 50 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we can dive in details into that.
Yeah. So what happened after the 99 years or the 50 years?
Good question. Yeah, it's a common question that's most people ask. Basically, if you are buying land in Ghana, okay, you'll be signing a contract, okay, and in that contract, basically, sublease agreement, okay. So in that sublease agreement, that will state the number of years you are buying the land from the landowner or the subleaser. So after the 99 years, you are subject to, that lease is subject to renewal. Okay, so but it's very, very important. Not just agree anything verbally say, okay, Kofi, I'm buying land from you, and after 99 years, when I'm gone, my children will come and renew the lease. Now, don't do that. Nothing verbally. In real estate, don't do anything verbally. Everything should be contractual. Everything should be written on paper. So what you're going to do is you insert a clause or a provision inside your lease agreement. Okay, that after 99 years, this lease is subject to renewal for additional. Okay, you guys can agree. Attorneys will advise you on that. Okay, the renewal, you're not going to get 99 years, of course, but could be something, that you guys can negotiate. You can negotiate with the landowner, after 99 years, the renewal years, how much you'll be rented from, you'll be leasing from them. And also another very important thing, so when you're buying land, you should check whether the landowner actually pays those ground rent. Because if there is a standing arrears which is not paid, you have to pay for that. Or you negotiate, you deduct that from the purchase price. You're paying for the land. Very, very important.
So if I understand,
yeah,
you will have to make sure that you put an agreement in to say it's subject to renewal after either the 50 years, the 70 years, or the 99 years. It's subject to that. And you also need to make sure that you know that, okay, who are you paying the ground rent to? And whether the person listening to you has been paying the ground rent, else you will have to pay the arrears.
Correct.
Okay. Now, what about?
Sorry. As far as due diligence, your due diligence. So when due diligence, when the landowner present all those documents to you, you need to check whether there are arrears, outstanding arrears.
Yeah. On top of checking the ownership as well. That one. But we are not talking about that. We are talking about this leasehold. So what about after the 99 years, after the 70 years, after the 50 years, you all know that it's subject to renewal. How much money do you have to pay for the renewal? And how do we determine that?
Yeah, that's so for example, let's say you buy land for 100,000 Ghana cedi today, right? Or 200,000 Ghana cedi. It doesn't mean that when you're 99 years rich or you're 50 years rich, you have to pay additional 100,000 Ghana cedi. Okay. You don't have to. That's just like you renting an apartment. Okay, you rent an apartment in cantonment or so or whatever for 2 years or 3 years, right? So when that duration reaches, you just have to renew with the landowner. It's the same thing with the land. The same thing. You don't need to pay additional, or you don't need to pay like I paid for 50 years ago and 90 years ago, this I wanted to pay that. No. It just renewed the contract. But like I said, the ground rent is very, very important. You definitely have to pay that down.
Do you think that we all live in Ghana? Do you think, let's say my granddad agreed something with your granddad, right? Land, that 99 years has gone past. Don't you think some people will try and take money from you again when it gets to the renewal? And how do we stop that?
Yeah, that's a great question. As I always say, Ghana's got, I'll come to your question. Ghana's got great laws. The laws are there, but the enforcement of the laws is a problem. Okay? Yeah. When you come, according to law, you go to a paper that you go to indenture, you go to sublease and stuff like that. Okay, so that's your background, that's your strong point. So if you have a paper, that's your strong point. Say, okay, hey, my dad bought this land, the past 90 years or 99 years or 50 years, and I'm the title holder of the land. So there's no way any landowner doesn't want to kind of, let me use the word milk you, okay? To make you like a car. So now that shouldn't be the case. you are the title owner of the land, so definitely nobody should make you into.
All right. So after the renewal period, we've renewed it. What happened? So after the 99, we renewed it for let's say 50 years.
Yeah.
What happened after that 50 years?
Yeah, you keep on renewing.
All right. Okay.
It's just like since independence, when we gain independence, that's where all this the constitution, when the constitution was enacted, that's why all this kind of this that. Okay. So the renewal keeps on. Ghana lands are basically on leases, right? So if you own a land, it doesn't mean that even if it's 200 years, 300 years, doesn't mean that somebody will come and pull down your property. Okay. But the most important thing is to make sure that you pay your ground rent. Very important. If you don't pay, the owner has a right. Okay. Ghana laws, there are nuances in that, and I don't want to go into that. If you don't pay, the owner has a right to come and say, you don't pay your ground rent and I'm taken by the title. There are nuances in that. If you're asking it,
okay, the final question about the freehold, and then we'll about the leasehold, and then we'll touch the other ones briefly. Yeah. The final one is, I hear a lot of diasporans saying that when you buy a land in Ghana, it doesn't belong to you for the rest of your life. What would you say to that?
It's complicated, okay, and not complicated, okay. In the sense that, for example, let's say in the diaspora, let's say you are in the US or in the UK, right? If you buy a property today, right, or you use debt, to purchase a property, if you default on your home, will that home belong to you?
No.
Certainly not.
Okay.
The bank will come after it. So definitely, you actually don't own the house, even though on paper, it shows that you are the owner of the house, but technically, you are not the owner. But in Ghana, it's a different thing altogether. Ghana is cash country, So if you buy the land is yours. Even though in the Western world, it might show that you are the owner, but technically you are not. Okay. So yeah, so it depends on how people look at things. It's just like your car. The same thing. Everything in this world is on lease. Nothing is permanent.
Okay, so as long as you pay your ground rent and you keep renewing, it is yours. Nobody's going to pull down your house or anything like that. Oh, okay. Okay, so what are the other land titles that we have briefly?
Yeah, so the other two, which is freehold. I've had occasions that people approach us, offering us lands, to do development, stuff like that. And I had one occasion whereby one guy approached me. He got a land at the outskirts, the outskirts of Accra. To get, I would say to get, as the name sounds, freehold. It means free. Okay, freehold forever. You own it forever. So, but to get freehold, not that I think you just have to go a little bit outside Accra. You're not going to get land in Accra freehold. Okay, it's going to be tough, and then I'll touch it on that a little bit deeper. So one guy approached us about his land, and I asked him, "Where did you got it from? Who were the decision makers who actually gave you that freehold?" I want the documents. I want to see that this Obusapin was a guy who gave you the freehold title, and he disappeared, So a freehold, again, also, you can also get homes, okay? According to Ghana law, when you say land involves the bare land and anything that rests on it. Okay, according to Ghana law, that's land. Okay, so one lady also approached me. She's got a property and she wants to sell, the existing property, and she wants to sell, and it's kind of she bought it like a freehold. When she was trying to sell to me, okay, she was trying to inflate the price. For example, I don't want to give the exact figure. Okay, for example, she said, okay, listen, if you want freehold, then I'm going to sell the property to you for 3 million US dollar. Okay, but if you want leasehold, we can beat down the price to 50 years. Can you imagine that? But the price was a little bit lower. See, so the freehold, even though according to law, there's freehold in Ghana, but technically, there are lots of grade, and people actually wants to change their freehold to leasehold.
Leasehold, okay.
You understand how the whole thing works? So there are few. If you go to the Asker anyway, go to Asker, you might get traditional leaders that you can get freehold. Okay, this freehold, but basically a lot of people are converting that freehold into leasehold.
So into leasehold, so it means that they want you to come back to them so that they take money from you, isn't it?
That they still want to keep the title.
Yeah, they want to keep the title. So how do you fight that? Is that law? Is that why you're saying the law? Is there a law to fight them from taking money from you?
My brother, that's what I said. In the country, there are laws in Ghana, but the laws are not enforced. Unlike in the Western world, if your land is freehold, you shouldn't be able to lease that land on a freehold basis. But in Ghana, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. This land is a freehold land. You don't have to lease it. But that's what we say. Great. People want to make more money. So you can go to the Asker your crowd, buy 100 acres of land, and now you start leasing it, 50 years, 50 years, 50 years, 50 years. That's what's happening. So there's freehold forever. But it's not common. It's common, but not common. And that's what I mean.
Yeah, I'm still stuck with the fact that let's say it's leasehold and they want to take money from me.
Yeah.
If I get a good lawyer, can I fight them to stop taking money from me, or should I just go and pay after the 99 years?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Do you know that everybody's got lawyers? He's got his lawyer, and you got your.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. So even that, there's litigations that are happening in the country. Okay, you might find lands that is free and clear, or that in encumbrances whatsoever. But as soon as you start development, there are issues. There are issues popping up here and there. And it's kind of a little bit very delicate issue in the country. And I will say that one of the major things that the country, any president that holds, the country to his heart should address is our land tenure system. If you don't have land, you have nothing. If you don't have land, you have nothing. So the government, anybody listen to me, should take note of this. We need to address our land issue, our land tenure system. It's a problem. And it's killing a lot of businesses. If you want to do something, you're a little bit skeptical, think that somebody's going to come after me, someone's going to steal money from me, someone's going to implicate, and it's not to the Ghanaians, it's not to a Ghanaian trying to invest in the country. It cuts across even investors, foreign investors. Yeah, so to address a question, yeah, they might come after you and say, okay, come off his lawyer trying to still take some money from you, even though you have all the papers. You have all the papers proving that you are the owner and you lease the land for 50 years. But, someone else to come after you.
Okay, so do you think I want my audience to get like a solution to this when they are buying a land? What do you think they should do? What do you think they should do? Should they go, okay, yes, it's 70 years, 50 years, subject to renewal. When it gets to the renewal stage, this is how we are going to skin the cat. Do you think they should start
Yeah.
They should negotiate that in advance, on paper. And do you think that will help later?
Exactly, yeah. Don't agree? Yeah. So audience, if you're buying land, make sure that everything is on paper. Everything should be on paper. Nothing verbal. Don't agree. It's not really real estate. It's just common sense. Okay? Use common sense. If you are buying anything in this world, make sure you have evidence to prove.
Yeah.
So agree on paper. After 50 years or after 70 years, I'm going to renew for additional number of years. I can't pinpoint additional number of years that you're going to lease. And also, let's say you are a developer, right? So, okay, so you bought the land, not from the chief, not the alludia owners, but you bought it from sublessor. So sublessor is kind of also an investor who bought the land from the main source. And that's what I mean. And you might, yeah, so maybe he bought it for 99 years, right? So when he's selling to you, he's going to sell it to you based on the number of years on his sublease. You understand what I mean? I hope I'm not confusing you guys. Listen. For example, let me give an example. Our example, we got our development coming up, okay, and we lease the land from the developer, what do you call it, the investor who actually bought the land long time ago from the alludia owners. So in our case, when you are buying land from us, or when you are buying a property, development from us, right? We are going to sublease to you based on the number of years we will receive from the sublessor. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if you go, let's say if you go to sublessor, it's got about, let's say, 80 years or 70 years left in its lease. It's going to lease to us based on the number of years. So if it's got 70 years, it might lease to us, let's say 65. And we'll end up subleasing to you, the property owner, or the guy who bought the property for agreeable years, 50, 45, some even do 35 years.
Wow.
So yeah. So also there's a caveat here. If you're buying land, the number of years, okay, the number of years should determine the value of the land. Let me come again. So let's say Kokomeno has got land for 99 years, and Agyei Mensa has got land for, let's say, the lease is 50 years, right, on the same vicinity or the same, location. Let's say one plot of land, right? So the Kokomensa's land value should be higher because it's got, you understand, common sense, right? So it's got long lease versus yeah. So take that in mind. The longer the lease, the better the property value, or the higher the property value.
The higher. Oh, okay. No, I've learned a lot. I am conscious of the time. Is there anything else you would want my audience to know about land issues in Ghana?
Yeah, just like I said, the first thing, get your attorney. That's the first thing. All the information I shared here, I've got a lot of experience in dealing with lands. But first, get an attorney to advise you on that. Okay, and please don't hire any real estate. Don't hire any attorney who's generalist. Hire an attorney that's focused on real estate. He's got experience in real estate. He actually has his practice on real estate. Not someone who does criminal laws. So get a lawyer that's real estate. 2, you can go to Village Sharks. I guess one of our platforms. We've got tons of real estate information. Just a blog. We've got about over 100 what do you call it, blog posts about real estate. Anything that has to do with real estate in Ghana. So you can just go to Village Sharks.
Village Sharks, okay.
Stroke, what do you call it? Blogs or blog, and you see tons and tons and tons of information about real estate matters in Ghana. And also, we are doing our own development. Like I said in the beginning of the video, Fanada Group's a development company. We do developments. We want to see how we can contribute to the nation. So we have to develop Ghana. no Ghana, nobody's going to come, no white man is going to come to develop us. We have to develop the country for ourselves. So, if you're in the diaspora or you're in Ghana, you're local, and you're looking forward to buy your dream home, Fanada Group is developing a community called Lamago Villas. You just Google Lamago Villas, and it's a development by Fanada Group. And right now, we are selling. The development is selling fast as hotcake. And if you want to, so development kind of townhomes and apartments, you can get in touch with us to discuss your needs if there's something that's interesting. If you want to own a home, just get in touch with us and we'll have a conversation.
I have learned a lot from this video and I hope you have too. I'll put the links in the video description. You go and check. You have to do your own due diligence as well to make sure that everything is authentic. This is not a paid advertisement whatsoever. It's just knowledge sharing. But if you decide to use any of the service, please make sure you do your own checks and make sure that you put your money where it's supposed to be. Please subscribe to come on my journey of experience. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next one.